Hello YouTube, I'm Jason, otherwise known as HC Airsoft. Today we're going to be taking a look at the WE SCAR open bolt. As SCARs become more and more popular, I still retain to the belief that it differentiates between M4s quite well. Since the gun is the shortest CB variant of the SCAR, I find the size to be very comparable to the GHK G5. To flip the sight up or down, just simply hold down the button on the left hand side of the gun and move it accordingly. The gun features a nice amount of rail space, including a monolithic upper rail. The magazine release can not only be found on the left side of the gun, but also the right side of the gun, making it great for left-handed or right-handed users. Here's the 32 round green gas magazine. This is a closed bolt mag converted to an open bolt mag, and I do not recommend buying any of the closed bolt magazines, even if you can find them. I don't know why you would. So I recommend to just get the newer version magazines. They are less prone to leaking. Here is the bolt catch, which simply activates the bolt and racks it forward whenever it locks back, as shown. Be advised, the bolt is loud. Just kidding, I got you sized for nothing. However, the ambidextrous fire selector is an awesome feature, but not nearly as loud as the bolt. I have no idea where I'm going with this conversation, but these quote-unquote trademarks are nice, even though it's not the officially licensed model, as this was a former closed bolt version. These stocks are known to be really stiff. I wish they were just as crisp in movement as M4 style stocks were. The cheek riser is also a nice added feature, but I don't think mine works right. Again, this is a second-handed version, which is why I don't have any of the original manuals, parts, etc. The rear flip sight is pretty standard. It only has one peephole. The charging handle can be placed from left to right. I personally put it on the left just because it's cooler when you see the gameplays. To access the internals, simply push the body pin found on the left hand side of the lower receiver, which at times can be a bit stiff, but it's just enough to get out with finger strength. Here's the trigger group. It's not the best in the world, and it pretty much self-destructs after a while when the pin and the hammer shakes out. One short-term remedy to this is applying Loctite, however it doesn't last as long, so your best bet is to go with RITech Steel Trigger Group. As you may have noticed, I am literally beating the shit out of my gun just to get to the bolt assembly. Not a fan of it. Yet the takedown is still more simplistic than other gas blowbacks I've encountered. Here's the buffer with the recoil spring. I don't necessarily recommend the stock one, as it is fairly brittle. You can see that I've installed the RITech end pass, which allows me to adjust the FPS. Overall, the bolt is fairly high quality for what it is, but I wouldn't recommend using it for too long, maybe about a year and a half tops. Then you have to replace it with either the stock bolt or invest in RITech parts for extra longevity. If you wish to swap the side of the charging handle, simply do what I'm doing. Just do it on whichever side you prefer. Say if you're right-handed, go for left side. If you're left-handed, go for right side. But since I'm right-handed, it doesn't make much sense to put it on the right side. But again, it looks cool whenever I shoot the gun in videos. Assemble the gun, you're going to want to put the stock assembly on nice and securely. Apply the lower receiver to the upper receiver in a hinge-like fashion. Push through until the body pin meets the hole, and push the body pin in. I like it because it's very simplistic and easy. One major thing that I didn't like was the rails. They are not mil-spec, and my AMP micro red dot still rattles on. Though I know it can't fall off, it's pretty annoying. As I mentioned before in the video, the stock is very stiff and makes it very hard to adjust it accurately. It seems you have to manipulate to adjust it. So another thing I didn't like was how hard it was to get the whole stock assembly off to access the bolt. One huge praise is how nice this gun sounds. Everything seems to operate so crisply. Though I'm not sure if this is 100% realistic, I don't like how you have to rack the gun in order to put it on safe. Overall, I'm impressed with how this gun performs, and I'll leave it stock for a while until something breaks, which usually isn't a good thing. And I like the look of this gun. I'm glad it's part of my collection.